Hello and welcome to Lesson 23, pages 174 and 175. This is a song titled The Shadow Birds in our Level 1 book. And The Shadow Birds continues to use some of our new notes we've learned fairly recently in our bass clef with G, A, and B, and we're also going to talk about when to play middle C in the right hand. There's a little bit of that in this song. This might be our first G sharp on the staff that we've ever seen too, which is all the way down here at the end of the song. And we also have a new term called DC Alfine, which we're going to review. So lots to review, lots to learn today on the song The Shadow Birds. But let's start with the notes that are in this song and where to place our hands. So we have the grand staff, which means right hand and left hand. We're in 4/4 time, 4 beats per measure. A quarter note gets the beat. And let's look at our finger numbers. So right here we have finger number 3 is on E, and it's treble clef, so that means we're going to use the right hand. So I'm going to take my right hand and finger 1, 2, 3 and place that on an E. So if my finger number 3 is on an E in the right hand, that actually tells me where to put all the rest of my fingers as well in the right hand. I have a C with finger 1, a D with finger 2, that E with finger 3 like it's written, my finger 4 is on F, my finger 5 is on G. And even if you're not using some of these notes in the song, we still want to practice resting our fingers there, okay? All right, and now we're going to take our left hand and get it set up for its position. And left hand, remember, is bass clef. I'll put an L here for us. This is finger number 3 again, so 1, 2, 3. And what note is this? Top of the staff, top of the class. This is an A. So 1, 2, 3 goes on A. Remember, A is the third white key under our group of 3 black keys. There's A. And it looks like our thumbs are sharing middle C in this song. Now, mine are a little too big to hold on the same key. So what I do is I usually move the one out of the way that I don't need, and I'll put it back in position when I need it to change. But you may be able to kind of rest your thumbs right next to each other and play either one like this. And that's great. You can do that as well. But if my finger 3 is on A, well, then my finger 4 is on G down here, my finger 5 is on F. Then I'll hop back up. My finger 2 is on B and C. So it's almost like both thumbs start on middle C, and then we add the notes going down or going up in the right hand, down in the left hand. So this is our hand position. Let's play all the notes we need in our song. Now we actually don't need regular G, so I'm going to use finger 4 to start with G sharp here, which is the middle black key in our group of 3 black keys. So we're going to play G sharp, A, B, C, D, and E 5 times each, because that's that's the notes we actually need for this song. Okay, so starting with finger 4 in the left hand on G sharp, let's start with 5 of those in a row. Say the notes as you play them so you can get used to which finger is on which key for this song. And you don't need to rest your finger on G sharp for this song, the entire song. Whenever we're going to need it, it's only in one spot, and we'll reach up to it when we need it. But let's practice by starting there. 1, 2, 5 G sharps play, and G sharp, G sharp, G sharp, G sharp, G sharp. Now let's move to A, finger 3, A. Let's move to finger 2 on B, 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 and pick which thumb you want to use. I'm going to use right hand on middle C, 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 C. Let's move to finger 2 on D, 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 D. Finger 3 on E, 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 E. All right, very nice warm up. That is all the notes we need in our song. But before we get started, let's talk about this DC Alfine, and then I'll review it again when we get to it in the song. So what this is an Italian phrase, and I should have Googled the translation right before I started the lesson, but what I believe the proper translation is from the beginning to the end. So what that means is when you get to this DC al fine, that's da capo al fine, and it means to go back to the beginning of the song after you've played measure 16. So go back to the beginning and play until you get to the end. Well, what does that mean? Well, the end is where we find the word fine, which means end. Does anyone see that? It looks like the word fine. It is in measure 8. So let's review that again. When we get to the DC al fine at the end of measure 16, the song is not over. We have to go back to the beginning and play until we get to fine, the end of the song. Okay, so from the beginning to the end, which is fine. Very good. So we'll review that again, and you'll hear it in the full performance of the song. The reason for this is just really so the composers won't have to write the same page of music again, right? It's a good way to save some space and to make the song a little bit longer if the section was going to be repeated. So that's why we have it going back to the first page, and then the composer just wants us to play the same exact thing. All right, well, let's hop back into our song. We have some staccato marks in the first measure, and this is a pattern. Remember, staccatos are like a popping corn kind of sound. They're light or separated is really what we want in the music. So the first two notes are E and A. And if you want to practice, you can go back and forth. We're actually doing finger 3 to finger 3, and it should sound almost like a tiptoe. And you can just practice that at first. This isn't the first line, but it's 2 of the notes until they sound separated, right? We don't want them to be like this. Hear how there's no space in between the notes? We want to hear E, A, E, A. It might help to lift your hand up a little bit, but I don't want to see hands going way up in the air when we play, because that is not what we need. Watch, my hands can stay nice and flat, and I can still play those staccatos, but a little bit of bounce is okay because it definitely helps. Okay, so what is happening in these first 2 measures? Well, we play E, A, then C, A. So it's 3, 3, and then 1 in the right hand, 3. And it does that twice in a row, okay? And I want you to notice middle C is in the right hand here. So we're going to use our right hand thumb because it's in the treble clef. So let's try playing the first, let's see. What's the best way to break this up? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll actually say let's go ahead and play the first 4 measures, but we're actually going to go 2 at a time while we review. So starting with the first 2 measures of the song, let's play the notes E, A, C, A, and hold them and not really worry about those staccatos just yet. Okay, so we're going to kind of play it a little at a time and just get used to playing the right notes. And now you can follow my voice. I'll lead you through it, okay? So hands ready. 1, 2, first line, go, play E, now move to A, finger 1 now, C, back to A, let's go back up to E, measure 2, E, A, then a C, then an A. Excellent, excellent work. Okay, before moving on, let's look at measures 3 and 4. So we have 2 more staccatos on D, 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 and then we play a B. But this mark here, remember students, is an accent mark. They want emphasis on the beat. So when you play that B, it should be like B and really announce it that it's a B. We're going to play it harder than some of our other notes, okay? So again, 3 and 4, we have D, D, accent for 2. D, D, accent for 2. Dig into those keys, okay? All right, so let's try measures 3 and 4 now, just by pressing the notes, not really worrying about those staccatos, and then we'll go back and try measures 1 through 4 the way they're written, okay? So just 3 and 4, we're going to play D, D, B, nice and slow. Here we go. 1, 2, follow me, and D, for 2, it's finger 2 in the right hand, 2, then a 2 in the left hand. Okay, we didn't really add those accents. If this is too tricky for you to start to add the accents to and the staccatos to the song, that's okay. You can start learning it without those. But we're going to try our best here and try those first 4 measures now with the staccato and accent marks. Here we go, nice and slow, measures 1 through 4. 1, 2, here we go. Play E, A. Now C, C, A. Back to E, E, A. Now a C, then A. Measure 3, D, D. Then a hard B for 2 and D, D, B for 2 and off. Great work. And remember, you will get the accents and the staccatos. It can be tough if it's, we're still learning these to add them to our songs, or maybe you're getting it on the first try, in which case, congratulations. So 5 and 6 are actually the same thing as 1 and 2, okay? That E, let's see, get my note. E, A, C, A. Same pattern. But now let's look at measures 7 and 8, and then we're going to try 5 through 8 here, okay? 5, 6, 7, and 8. But first, let's start with just measures 7 and 8. We have an accent on a D, but look, students, C is in the what? Bass clef, which means we have to use our left-hand thumb to play it. So we play C, B, and then we're playing hands together, an A and an E. So this is our A, this is our E, and it's both finger 3, okay? So I'll leave that there so we can remember, but how about I draw it a little better? 3 and 3, finger 3 for both your hands at the end. So let's try measure 7 nice and slow, measure 7 and 8 quick, then we'll try 5 through 8, and we're gonna just press those notes without the staccatos or accents to get used to them. So 1, 2, here we go, and D for 2 and C, B, and then together with finger 3s. We're going to hold those for 4 beats and let go with our whole notes. Okay, now let's give measures 5 through 8 a try. So starting right here at measure 5 and going up to measure 8. All right, here we go. 1, 2, here we go. Play E, A, C, A. Measure 6. E, A, C, A. Finger 2 in the right hand. D for 2. The left hand, C, B, and let's do together 2, 3, 4, and off. Good, and now we'll move to the second page. One thing I want to mention quickly, students, because of the accent here, I feel like when we get to this hands together part, maybe it's not just due to this accent, but for some reason, it feels to me like I really want to slam those keys down for A and E. But remember, it's not accented here, so we're not going to press this hands together super forceful when we get to it. We just want it to be a whole note. I don't want to hear big accents there for measure 8. Okay, moving on to the second page, let's try measures 9 through 12 for this one. And for measures 9 through 12, well, this part we like, it's just 4 Ds in a row. Not bad. And that's finger 2 in this measure for all those Ds. And then, hey, look, we have 2 Bs here. This is actually finger 2 as well, but with the left hand in the bass clef. So you can remember this whole part is finger 2s. Let's go ahead and try those 2 measures nice and slow, 9 and 10. Remember, no staccatos. 1, 2, here we go. Play D, 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 D. Then left hand, B for 2, B for 2. Excellent. Now moving to 11 and 12, we have hands together. So the left hand plays an A, and we hold that for 4 beats. And the right hand, when you do that, you're first going to play a C together, C, and then another C, C, and then we move to a D. So measure 11 is together, right, 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 and make sure you're still holding that left hand note. That can be tricky to get, but you can practice it just like that. Together, right, right, right. Alrighty. And measure 12 is our finger threes together, just like in measure 8. Very good. So let's try measures 11 and 12, and then we'll try 9 through 12. 1, 2, here we go. Measure 11, together, C, C, D, and then A and E, together, 2, 3, 4. Very, very good. And looking at the end of our song here, 13 and 14 are the same as 9 and 10. But measure 15, we played 2 A and E's together. And then look at this, students. We have our first G sharp with and E. And remember, we're going to use finger 4 in the left hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, and come up just like this to play that G sharp. And in the right hand, we're playing an E with finger 3. So measures 15 and 16 are just like this. Together for 2, together for 2, and then together 2, 3, 4. Now remember, after that measure 16, we have our da capo al fine, which means we go back to the beginning of the song and we play until we get to measure 8 again, or the end of measure 8, where we have the word fine. And you can see that the double bar line, like that thick bar line, is here. And that symbol marks the end of a piece. And that's the reason why it's on measure 8, because this is, in fact, the end of the song. Okay, and let's get ready for our first full performance of the Shadow Birds. Here we go, from the beginning. 1, 2, here we go. And E, A, C, A, E, A, C, A, measure 3, D, D, B for 2, D, D, accent for 2, measure 5, E, A, C, A, measure 6, A, C, A, and D for 2, C, B, together, 2, measure 9, and D, 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 B for 2, B for 2, together, right, right, D, together, 2, and measure 13, D, 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 B for 2, B for 2, and together for 2, together for 2, and now G sharp, 2, and from the start, play E, A, C, A, E, A, C, A, and D, D, B for 2, D, D, B, measure 5, E, A, C, A, E, A, C, A, and D for 2, and C, B, together, 2, 3, 4, and off. Congratulations on working through the song The Shadow Birds, and I'll see you on the next one.